Okay. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves to be. Like any organization, we need good people, and we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device. When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. Test it out on the staff here. Anyone you want. First, put them to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you?
I'm ready, boss.
First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? First, put him to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you? To sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you?
I'm ready, boss.
First, put him to sleep. Out like a light. Now approach him and extract him.
Good.
Extraction complete. You can only bolt and recover someone if they're not resistant. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself. Open your eye droid. Select staff. So that staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in charge of developing all kinds of weapons and items that'll support you on missions. Take a look at the development list.
Select weapons items under the development heading.
That's the R&D team's development list. See the item called cardboard box? Doesn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet. We need more staff on the team. Go extract a few more people. Boss, put the iDroid away for a moment. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out with CQC next? Show them how it's done, boss. Good. Extraction complete. One thing I should mention. A Fulton extraction won't always be successful. If the person is injured, it could kill them. And if the weather's unfavorable, well, it could end up going missing. You can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. If you want to be sure to get them out, let's carry them to the chopper instead. Boss, now that we have more people on the R&D, its level has gone up. They should be able to develop the cardboard box now. Open your eyes.
Select weapons items under the development heading.
Now select cardboard box and start development. Just be aware,
Development has finished. You can have the support unit supply you with weapons and items you've developed. Think of it as your own personal delivery service.
and there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said you'd know what to do. Try it out. One last thing. The staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, and that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does it. You won't make any GMP or find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select the landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, stay around here a while.
Arriving shortly at LZ.
Just come pay me a visit.
This is Pequod, on station at LZ.
list of missions for you. Open your iDroid. I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss. Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Deshago Calais and eliminate the target. Those are raw diamonds. Collecting them as assets will raise our GMP. You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Ходят слухи.
Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets. That's the sturdiest building in the area. It'd be perfect for the target to hole up in. Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base. He speaks Russian. What we need is an interpreter. The main principle of intelligence work is intel gathering. But that's a problem if you don't speak the enemy's language. We need a staff member with the interpreter skill to do a simultaneous interpretation. You gotta extract him. subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Это Зоя-10. Одного из наших унесло на воздушный шар. Зоя-10, что случилось? Ответьте, Зоя-10. У нас проблема. Тревога по всем постам. Двигайтесь!
He's coming too. Roger that.
Найди его! Двигайтесь! КП, это Зоя-6. Никаких признаков врага. Открываем поиск. Прием. Это КП, понял. Оставайтесь на чеку. Конец связи. Всем боевым группам, это КП. Боевые посты. Все подразделения по боевым постам. Огонь! Огонь! Нужен подавляющий огонь!
us knocking him out. Target secured. I'll tell the client we sent the target to a place outside of heaven. Boss, your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land. Don't hang around. You're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete. Mission complete. Great work. How you feeling, boss? Getting used to being in the field again? Having choppers and a horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed. Remember the guys you brought back from the base in Cuba 9 years ago? Believe it or not, some of them survived that hell we went through. Word reached them that Big Boss is back and they wanted in. They're good men, our brothers in fate. They'll be glad to know you've seen them here. The side ops list is comprised of problems we need you to resolve, objectives to be completed, and information gained from the soldiers and prisoners you've extracted. These aren't missions per se, but if you can take care of them when you're free, I'd appreciate it. So as sandstorms come in, sandstorms effectively make you blind and deaf. But that goes for the enemy too. Use the situation to your advantage.
Уже велся огонь. Открыли огонь в ответ. Но потеряли врага. Враг может все еще прятаться поблизости. Соблюдайте осторожность. Штаб, это кафе. Ответьте. Штаб, ответьте. Штаб. Штаб, это кафе. Штаб, прием. Штаб, штаб. Обнаружили установленный боец. Атакуем. Прием.
Boss, you need to disable the Soviets' reinforcement system by putting a hole in their base-to-base comms network. Head for the Eastern Communications Post and destroy its comms equipment. First, use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility. That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss, this is no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss? Found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language specialist and extract him. Use the binoculars to locate the communications equipment at the facility. use compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need. Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too. Good. That's the first one. Destroy the remaining antennas. Nice. That's the second one. That wasn't the last of them, though. Keep going.
СКП, понял. Будьте начеку. Выгрузите врага. Конец связи.
Good work. You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone. Extract him.
Комплект от 9. Мы осмотрели сектор, ничего не нашли. Отзываем поиск. Прием. СКП, понял. Будьте бдительны. Не позволяйте им напасть на вас. Конец связи.
That's it. You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. Mission complete. Great work. Our army is growing like crazy thanks to you, boss. In fact, it's getting downright crowded around here. To bring a greater number of people on board, we'll need to expand our facilities. To that end, I've created a base development unit. It has two roles, material refinement and platform construction. I'll start with the material refinement part. The base development unit procures material resources on a regular basis according to its level. The materials are stored in containers and placed on the deck of Mother Base. Once they're finished being processed, they can finally be put to use. By using these materials to build new platforms, we'll be able to add a greater number of staff to our ranks. We don't need any specific instructions from you to refine the materials, but I want you to be the one to decide how we construct platforms. Once we have sufficient GMP and the required material resources, you can issue construction orders from your iDroid. Boss, we've received a back-channel request from Langley. We're to find a piece of new American military hardware that's gone missing in the mountains of Afghanistan. It's a difficult mission, but I'd say you're back in top form by now. Check your iDroid for the details.
Whoa, whoa. Oh. Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah!
Found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language. That's the target.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Что такое? Солдат упал! Контакт!
That language specialist you extracted has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission. animals in the field. Truth is, an environmental NGO has asked us to remove wild animals from combat zones. If you have the time, can you extract some back here? There's a reward in it for us. Boss, the Soviet engineer is being held prisoner at the Waksin barracks. You need to find him and get him out. He tried to defect from the base camp up north, but it didn't work out. Now they're holding him at Waksin. He's offered his technical skills to us as long as we can guarantee his safety. You have to extract the target.
Yeah.
Boss, your target just happens to be the man who developed your prosthetic hand. He's the only one capable of maintaining it. If we bring him in, I'm sure he'll be able to modify it in all kinds of ways as well.
That's the Waksin barracks. The target is somewhere inside that outpost. The Soviets consider him a traitor now, so he'll be treated like any other prisoner. That wild dog pup. He's a tough little guy. Boss, this is no time to be playing with animals. What are you gonna do, boss? It's a type of medicinal plant. We can use that to make tranquilizer rounds more potent.
Что за...
Okay, subject is in. Their anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
Конец связи. Всем боевым группам, это КП. Вышел из строя целый Ренланд. Похоже на проблемы с электроэнергией. Ближайший патруль. Проверить сеть питания. КП, это Дмитрий-1. Оборудование повреждено. Похоже, это атака врага. Прием. Это КП, понял. Немедленно проверить и сдать оперативную сводку. Конец связи.
Out of ammo? Let the support unit help out if you need to restock. Transmit a request from your iDroid and I'll send supplies right away. Boss, you've entered a building. Always keep an escape route in mind when you head indoors. If you get surrounded, you'll have nowhere to run.
КП, это Дмитрий-1. Никаких признаков врага. Отзываем поиск. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте бдительны. Не позволяйте им напасть на вас. Конец связи.
that? Turn it off to shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost. But of course, the enemy will realize something's up. If you're gonna do it, be quick.
КП, это Зоя 2. Мы осмотрели сектор, ничего не нашли. Отзываем поиск. Прием. Это КП, понял. Будьте наготове. Конец связи. КП, это Зоя 10. У нас могут быть нарушители. Полная боевая готовность. Прием. Это КП, понял. Смотрите в оба. Конец связи.
Забудь, не померещилось.
КП, это Зоя 7. Привели на место. Начинаем осмотр территории. Прием. КП, понял. Ищите подозрительные. Конец связи. КП, это Зоя 7. Сектор осмотрен. Никого. Прием.
You gotta extract him.
Понял. Вернитесь на пост. Прием. КП, здесь Дмитрий 3. Одного из наших унесло на воздушном шаре. Кажется, у нас лазутчик. Не заняться его поисками. Прием. Это КП. Понял. Последующие потери неприемлемы. Держите ухо восток. Конец связи.
That looks like the target.
Этот протез. Я его сделал. Это мой шедевр. Обычные протезы. Это скучно.
КП, это Зоя 7. Тут что-то
Я
странное.
специалист
Жду указаний.
по бионике.
Прием.
Я создаю
Это КП. Понял.
бионические гибриды.
Усилить безопасность. Повышенная боевая готовность. Конец связи.
Можно сказать, что это не протез.
Great.
А бионик.
Overhead. You should be able to fold him in.
За свою жизнь я создал тысячи таких конечностей. Они использовались спросом даже в Кремле. И вот благодарность. Сделай гигантские руки и новые боевые платформы, они мне сказали.
Противник где-то близко. Прием.
Я ведь
Это КП. Понял. Усилить безопасность. И найти
Они
оружие. Конец связи.
посадили меня сделать заводные игрушки. Я этого не вынес. И поэтому сбежал. Они меня поймали. Теперь, может, меня ждет лагерь. Ты меня спас. И я готов тебя слушать. Могу улучшить твою бионическую руку. Просто дай мне продолжить свою работу.
Nice work. All right, mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh? The engineer we rescued has been extremely cooperative. The guys on the R&D team are glad to have him aboard. Thing is, his specialty isn't mechanics, but something called bionics, engineering based on biology. He's already submitted a proposal for modifying your prosthetic arm. If you're interested, go ahead and give the development order. When you're not on a mission, use that free time wisely. Surveying enemy outposts, for example, or gathering manpower and resources. Of course, even you need some downtime every now and then. Whatever you do, it's all another step on the road to our goal.